Hey, Trader Weaves here with another beginner's guide. This week's episode will be featuring the questions that you guys have been asking over the past few months. Question 1 from Z-Rams. Why do some Pokestops have circles around them? These Pokestops are actually ones that you haven't visited before. You'll see there's a horizontal, a whitish or yellowish thin circle that floats around them. If you spin a Pokestop you haven't been to before, so one that has a circle, then you get 250 XP. Whereas if you spin a normal Pokestop, you just get 50. From Xavier Wyvern, we have, do you think rare candies are worth using on legendaries? Short answer is yes. Very much so. Long answer, when you have a legendary as your buddy, you get a candy every 20 kilometers. By the time you're getting to the top levels of powering up your Pokemon, you're gonna need 15 candy to power it up half a level. So that is a lot of walking. You could feed a rare candy to a Magikarp if you're trying to save up for Gyarados, but given that you could walk a Magikarp for 20 kilometers and get 20 Magikarp candy, it's not really the best use of your rare candy. So I tend to save it for legendaries and mythicals. You can get rare candy from doing raids. You have about a 20% chance of getting a rare candy from any level of raid. If you get more Premier Balls at the end of the raid through doing more damage or having gym control, then you might get more rare candy. The other way of getting it is occasionally you can get them in research tasks. And of course you can get legendary candy from catching more legendaries, but since they're only around for a few weeks at a time, rare candy is a good way to power them up after they've already left. The single most frequently asked question I get since I've launched this channel is, how do you train gyms? Now this comes from the Ace Trainer medal, which you can see if you go into your trainer screen and scroll down a little bit. Unfortunately for pretty much everyone concerned, training gyms has actually been removed from the game. Back in June 2017, they completely reworked the gym system, so when we moved from prestiging gyms to using Pokemon Motivation, that's when they took it out. It is now a legacy medal, and there is no way to increase your score on it. Maybe that'll change in the future if they do another rework, but given Niantic's history with retiring medals in Ingress, I wouldn't count on it. Any techniques on tapping in battles? When it comes to doing battles in Pokemon Go, for the most part, you're just tapping on the screen. You could tap directly on the charge attack button that you see at the bottom, and that way it'll fire as soon as it's able to. Beyond that, there's not really much else you can do. The only other tip I can give you for battles is, if you're trying to dodge attacks, wait for the yellow flash. It's quite faint, but once you know what to look for, you'll see it. A yellow flash around the edge of the screen indicates that the Pokemon you're fighting is about to do an attack. So once you see that, try and dodge by swiping left or right, and you have a better chance of dodging the attack. You'll still take a little bit of damage, but not as much. How do you catch a Ditto? Ditto actually hide as other Pokemon, usually quite common ones. So if you look at this list here, this shows the Pokemon that we know Ditto like to hide as. So you catch as many of those as possible, and eventually, once you catch, instead of saying, Pidgey was caught, it'll say, oh, and then transform back into a Ditto. As of filming this video, which is October 2018, we also have Ditto hiding as Meltan, who is the new Pokemon coming with Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee. I don't know what's going to happen to that once the Let's Go game comes out on Switch, but for now, you will see the silhouette popping up at the top of your nearby, and that will be a guaranteed Ditto. What is a shiny? If you've been watching my videos for any length of time, you will see that I talk about shinies a lot. In practical terms, shiny Pokemon aren't actually any more or less powerful than any others. It's purely a color shift, but they are rare, so I like to collect them. When it comes to finding shinies, they're actually a random encounter per trainer. So you and your friend could be standing side by side, see the same Pokemon. If you're above level 30, then it'll be the same level, but you could get a shiny and your friend will see the normal color, or vice versa. There's nothing you can do to change that, it's purely a random chance. On days like community days, or sometimes with events, then the shiny chance is boosted for certain Pokemon. But in general, the encounter rate for shinies in the wild is 1 in 450, so they are quite difficult to find. And if you do catch one, hang on to it. Even if you don't want it, it'll be worth trading to someone like me who wants all the shinies. Certain Pokemon do have a higher chance of being shiny, especially ones you get in raids, but they'll still be worth hanging on to for trading. And finally, what is the blue misty background behind some Pokemon? Now this refers to the blue circle you can sometimes see in your Pokebag. That indicates Pokemon that you've caught in the past 24 hours. That covers the questions I've been asked most over the past few months. Thank you very much for watching, and if you have any other questions, drop them in the comments below. I might have already answered them in one of the topic-specific videos, but if not, I will collect them and we'll do another round of FAQs later in time. Goodbye!